was the greatest disaster in Swedish history. In the year 1708, 8 years into the Great Northern War, the premier European military power of Sweden made the decision to invade Russia, having crushed their Danish and Polish allies. The Swedish army was the finest in Europe. Small but professional, highly disciplined, and with outstanding leadership under the military genius of Charles XII. They easily beat much larger armies than their own, as had been demonstrated over the Russian conscript rebel at the 1700 Battle of Narva. But Tsar Peter had learned from his mistake, and this time refused to engage the invaders, instead withdrawing into his vast country, scorching the land behind him and forcing the Swedes to overextend in a pursuit which lasted a year. Outmaneuvered, hampered by minor skirmishes, guerrilla tactics, and a devastating winter, the greatly diminished Swedish army was in a desperate situation by the summer of 1709. With his larger, well-supplied army, Peter now boxed the Swedish in and goaded Charles into a battle on his terms near the village of Poltava, which was protected by a series of fortified redoubts. The Swedish still had one chance to surprise the Russians, rising at 2 a.m. on July 8th to get the drop on them. But this backfired badly as the advancing cavalry and some infantry got totally lost in the darkness, while other infantry columns marched through the redoubts rather than around them, where they were spotted and blasted away. So that up to half, some 4,000 were lost before the battle had even properly begun. Now only 5,000 remained to take on the main Russian army of some 45,000 without proper cavalry or cannon support. Unbelievably, the sheer iron will of the Swedish soldiers meant that they were still able to break the Russian line and threaten to win once again. But the redoubts had done their job, and there were just too few to deal with overwhelming Russian reinforcements and focused cannon fire. The Russian cavalry ensured it was a total rout. Few Swedes escaped the battle, while the lost remnants of a disastrous night march were cornered and captured. The Battle of Poltava shook the earth. The prime of the Swedish army was annihilated, with Sweden itself now wide open to attack. By the war's close in 1721, a third of its empire would be permanently lost and its spirit forever chastened. Meanwhile, Tsar Peter I would henceforth be known as Peter the Great.